Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. For anybody that's familiar with the teachings of the Ten Commandments, whether it be from Judaism or Christianity, the general idea of that is that you are not to lie, and you are not to join the hands of the wicked in order to spread lies and gain from them. And so, how does that relate to the 1950s? Well, unfortunately, and you could even say that that's happening now, is that many politicians were exploiting the fears of Americans and their fear of communism and using that lying to their personal gain. And so Joseph McCarthy was a senator that exploited the fear of Americans and their fear of communism spreading throughout the United States, and he used that to his political advantage. He was able to gain a following and to gain traction of a following in the United States when he accused others of being communist spies within the government. And he also accused other famous people of being communist sympathizers, and was able to gain a following through TV, through newspaper headlines, and he was able to enjoy all this. This man felt no remorse. He felt no shame of what he was doing. He didn't care how many lives he impacted, as long as he was able to get the headlines and as long as he was able to get the fame. But his lies had real consequences, as many people's lives were thoroughly ruined. They weren't able to get work. They weren't able to get hired in government. And a lot of his accusations that he sensationalized had very little or even no proof at all. But nevertheless, he was able to exploit the fear of American communism spreading throughout this country and use that to his advantage. But he wasn't the only one, as the era of McCarthyism was well apparent through the 50s, as others did the same tactics. So the sad reality about Joseph McCarthy's accusations is that many people's lives were ruined, despite all these investigations and despite all these hearings that he had in front of the cameras. Well, there was very little or no proof to his accusations, and he knew this. Joseph McCarthy knew this. He knew that he didn't have any real proof of his accusations, but he didn't care. He was more concerned about how he looked in front of America, how famous he got, and how he was making a name for himself. And so he did not care how many lives he ruined. Now, granted, people started to catch on that he was just full of it, and basically he became the boy who cried wolf, but he never really faced any real repercussions of his falsehoods and how many lives he ruined. But nevertheless, there was this environment of a second Red Scare where people were afraid of communism spreading, and Joseph McCarthy wasn't the only one that benefited from exploiting this fact.